straight man dates a trans woman, is he still straight?
I do believe that a straight man, if he dates a trans woman, is straight because it depends on.
Explain that.
Okay, so it really depends on, I'm going to say, that person, and it depends on how that person may represent themselves, the trans woman. So there are trans women who are still very masculine.
Yeah.
You don't have to be a feminine trans woman to be trans. You know what I mean? Okay. So I'm saying that even if a person is a trans woman who is more masculine, it depends on those gender roles that they want to play.
Right.
And not even gender roles, they are a trans woman, but more like, you know, how do they want to be viewed? So I can't speak on all trans women because all trans women aren't the same. Right. But I will speak on that. Yes, I do believe that, especially if, you know, they are a feminine woman and they are a woman. They're a woman.
Yeah.
So I do believe that, yes, a straight man can date trans women and still be straight. There are plenty out there.
I'm like, I got to disagree with you on that one. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you've never seen a trans woman and you felt that they weren't feminine enough to be deemed as if they were, you know, able to be a part of the heteronormative idea? Is that what you're saying?
Nah, I just feel like, you know, like I said, just my opinion, but I'm always open to correct it before I say what I want to say. It's not that. I just feel like if a woman was born with a uterus, it doesn't, you know what I'm saying? And that's why I feel this is my opinion.
Yeah.
And that's why it is different categories. But some trans women, they want to be, not saying this is you, but they want to be viewed as an actual woman with a uterus. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I said nah.
Well, I haven't met any of that since, so I can't speak for them.
Okay.
But I'm going to say for me specifically, I am someone who knows that I was not born with a uterus.
Okay.
I do know that I was not born, you know, biologically female. I know that I am a trans woman, and I will reiterate that, that's the word, many times, because, you know, there is a difference, you know, in that sense.
Got it.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome.
Welcome. Everyone, thank you for tuning in to Grown Men Talking Incorporated. We have a very deep topic for y'all today, but as a disclaimer, we are going to put in that we are not to discriminate. This is just solely for awareness and education. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, but there will not be no type of hate on here at all. And for the heads up, the Unspoken Heart going to be closed until the end of July. Grown Men Talking will be airing every Friday still. So please tune in, share, put up those like buttons. Also, we want to take this moment to tribute to someone very dear to me. She came as a guest on the Unspoken Heart Discussion Hour, and we sadly received some news on April 22nd that she had passed away. So we are going to do a tribute in love and memory of Shauna Nias. She stood within the community fighting against violence. She was a CEO of RAIN. So if y'all remember, this is Shauna, and this is our tribute. At the end, we will have a moment of silence.
moments passed us by, but they were treasures in disguise. I still set out 2 cups of tea, though it's only me, it's what used to be. Little habits, soft and true, still wrap my heart in thoughts of you. You waved and said, see you soon. That goodbye still echoes in every room, until I see you again. I'll carry you deep within, wishing on clouds that float above, hoping you hear my silent love. I won't let the tears be all that's left. Your smile is something I won't forget. With the warmth you left behind, I'll keep on walking, one step at a time. No letters left, no photographs, but my heart recalls our past. Every moment soft and kind still burns like starlight in my mind. Though the seasons come and go, my love remains. It only grows in the quiet night. I speak your name and feel your presence just the same. Until I see you again, I'll carry you deep within, singing softly in the breeze, hoping it brings your heart some peace. It's not goodbye, just see.
Okay, anyone here in the San Antonio area that was familiar with Shauna's work in the community? Job well done, stood her ground, and made a big impact. They will be able to release tomorrow in the Lakeside Subdivision Park. They do ask to bring blueberry balloons to release in her honor. Our hearts and prayers for the Unspoken Heart Discussion Hour goes out to the family, Stephanie Nyas and the Nyas family. In this moment, our hearts and prayers are out to you. Much love. And now we hand it over to our motivational speaker, Desmond Jones.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Welcome in. Welcome in. Happy Friday. Happy Friday to y'all. You have tuned in to Grown Men Talking. And what a topic we got for y'all this evening. So let me go ahead and get everybody in here so we can get this topic started. Like Spicy said, we are not here to offend anyone. This is strictly for educational purposes only. No offense should be taken. First off, let's bring in the owner, Mr. Dwight. Mr. Dwight, where you at, Mr. D?
What's up? What's up? Happy Friday, everybody. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. And as Brother Dad said, yes, we are just talking. This is just our opinion, my opinion. So we don't want nobody to get opinion about what we're about to say. Everybody their own opinion. Everybody thinks different. So, but we're here to have a good time, and we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it. Back to you, Brother Dad.
All right. Next, we're gonna bring in the one and the only Miss Kanisha, aka K Marie.
Good evening, everyone. Happy Friday. Hope everyone have a great week. Ready to address this topic.
All right, and who else we got in here with us today?
Queen D.
Queen D. Connected. Queen D, where you at? Come on up. Come on up. Let's get this thing going. Queen D, where you at?
Hey everybody, happy Friday. How dare you, Jay? Everybody the one and only. How dare you?
Hey, my mind is still not here. My mind is still waking up, as y'all can see. Like I said, y'all, this topic, me and Kanisha have had this discussion before, and I like the guy said in the video. It's hard for me to just, and like I said, this is just my personal opinion. It's hard for me to look at a woman that wasn't naturally born a woman as a woman, because in my eyes, I still see that man. But that's just my personal opinion, and I just find it hard to believe that it's hard for a person to be straight if they're dating a transgender woman, because in my own personal opinion, that's not a natural woman. That is a man pretending to be a woman. But that's just my own personal opinion. Mr. Dwight, you got any thoughts or comments on that video?
Yes, I do. I'm Generation X, y'all. I'm gonna be real with you. Maybe that doesn't make a difference, but everybody have their own opinion and what they feel. But I'm with the young guy that was hosting the show. Okay, I'm sorry, I just see you as a man. Now that's just me. Okay, I know people on that side, and I had nothing but love and respect for them, which I will say some more things into the show. But that's how I see it. I mean, you're born a man and you feel like a woman. That's fine, but the DNA says different. The DNA doesn't lie. So I mean, but you feel like that, feel like a woman, then okay, that's fine, that's okay. But just for me, it's my opinion. I still see you as a man. I guess one reason is, and I don't want to step on nobody's toes, and I don't want nobody to get offended, but women, they have that once a month thing, and they birth children. That's what you kind of, refer as a woman. So, and I know it has women were not there that can't have children, but like I said, that's just me. I'm sorry, that's what I see you have. So I'll get back to that later. But I'm with you on this day. I agree with you.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand that, because I mean, to me, like you said, it's just hard for me to see that.
Yeah.
K Marie, what do you had? You got any thoughts and opinions on this?
I think from the video that was shown, if a man is dating a transgender woman, to me, he is still dating a man. Just my opinion. And the reason why I say that is because what makes that transgender woman a woman? Because to my knowledge, anytime that you are having activities with the opposite sex, I mean with the same sex, that's considered gay or lesbian. So what changed because they're a trans woman that no longer makes them gay or lesbian, trans woman or trans man?
That's the same question that I would like to ask too, because that is still that's still a boy, Damon. But Queen D.
It's like a little touchy conversation today, but me, I don't judge. It's not my job. My name is Queen and not God. Whatever a person chooses to be, that's what they choose to be. However, I have to agree with you because if you're born male and you decide to be female, even if you were born female and you decide to be male, you're still a female, and the male is still a male. I mean, but to each their own. I mean, I gotta say about that. I respect them, as long as they respect me. I mean, it's not like I said, it's not my job to judge. I kick it with you, I hang out with you, whatever the case may be. But you like what you like, I like what I like, but I ain't here to judge.
Where?
Well, that's highly understandable. I mean, and no one is here to judge. Nobody here can judge because, like you said, we are not God. So, we're not here to judge. We only have personal opinions. And I have nothing against anyone who has decided to take on that transition in life because that's your life, that's your preference, that's your choice. We all have choices. I'm just saying, as for me and mine, I believe that is a choice that you're choosing to make. I don't believe that God made a mistake when he made you who you know. I believe that God knew what he was doing when he made you, and somewhere down the line, you made a conscious decision to say, no, God, I don't think you got it right. This is what I should be. But that's, like I said, that's just my personal opinion. If anybody has, any difference to say, because to me, any man that willingly dates a transgender woman, knowing the fact that, like Mr. Dwight said, that at one point in time, this was a man and it's no longer a woman, just because they had an operation, that does not make them, in my eyes, that does not make them a woman. That to me, there's no, and once again, this is for educational purposes, and this is solely my opinion and not the opinion of anyone or anyone affiliated with the show. This is my opinion. I believe that there is no pill, there is no surgery that can make you something that God did not create you to be. If God created you to be a man, you should be a man. If God created you to be a woman, you should be a woman. I don't believe that there is that just because you decide to have a surgery or you decide to take some type of pill to make you accentuate these parts that you're not, I don't believe that makes you what you want to be, because of the simple fact that you are not a woman. But is there anybody else got something to say about that?
Yeah, I believe now, just like you said, Des, I believe God doesn't make any mistakes. And when God makes you who you are, then it's who you are. Now, there are cases where they had babies born with both sex parts, and I guess the parents decide when, if they want that to be a boy or a girl. That's something different. That's something totally different. But when you are born a man, then that's what God, in my opinion, God wants you to be a man. Because God is perfect. We all make mistakes, but one thing, God don't make no mistakes. And what God stands for, when God makes you who you are, then that's who you are. Now, like I said, everybody got a choice to live their life the way they want to live it. Matter of fact, I know some, we cool. We don't really talk no more. I had a friend that went in that direction, and he asked me for my opinion. He didn't like my opinion. I said, I remember you as John. Now you're Jeanette. No, I still see you as John. I don't care about you got this done with the parentheses and you even had the thing split down the middle. Man, you still John. I can't see you no more than John, the guy playing basketball, trying to be cool. And I mean, you definitely did a transform. We all looking like, man, he really did transform, but we didn't disrespect him. That's what he chose to be. And he kind of got a little testy with us. He said, well, I'm a woman. I said, no, man, my sister, that's a woman. My mom, that's a woman. My aunt. Because they was born as women. They had children. They did this. You can never experience what a woman truly goes through when she go through her things and having children, this and that. Now, in your mind, that's what you feel like you want to be. Then I respect you to that point, but I still see you as a man. Now, he even asked me, well, what if we didn't know each other and you saw me and I came and talked to you and you didn't know who I was? I said, well, look, I'm not like every man, but I got spider sense. I'm going to sense it out. But say if I didn't, and we talk, and then you were straight up with me and say, well, I did this, so I'm a woman now, I would have said it was nice to meet you, and I would have got up and excused myself to the table and exit the door. That's just me, my opinion. So, damn, I talked to you too much. Hey, y'all, with that song, with that beat coming, we'll be back. So don't go nowhere. We'll be back in 2 and 2. Dad's be back. We all be back. So we'll be back in 2 and 2.
A gay man is not aroused by a trans woman. So this is what they make men feel. Oh, you're trans. Oh, that's still a man. That's still a man to you, Miss Thing. To the female who's standing, and she's okay to look at us how she feels, because who cares how she feels? She cannot reflect on how a man feels. Like, they literally want a man to look at all this woman and say, that's still a man.
Thank you. We want to give all appreciation over to Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, Rumble, and Kick for tuning in live. And also, I want to say this: we're giving tribute also to Miss Shauna K today. Put those blue hearts in those comment areas to show love, and also praying hands to our prayers to the family. We want to thank everyone else for showing love. Do know that this program here is not to discriminate or to judge. We're really just talking on this opinion on a topic, mainly on if a person dates a transgender, does that make them gay? Over to the Des.
Yes, we are back. We are back, and once again, this is a very sensitive topic and subject for someone, and even though in today's society, everybody wants to, be so politically correct, sometimes you just have to have the real conversations, and this conversation is not to hurt nobody's feelings, not to bring nobody down, because everyone has choices, and your choices are purely your right to have. But I'm listening to this video, and I'm listening to this woman to explain herself, and I understand what she said, because even though I see a woman, but my heart of hearts knows you're a man. And you can't unsee what you've seen. And just because you want the world to look at you as a woman, that doesn't mean that the next person has to, in my opinion, in my personal opinion, because to me, I don't see a real woman. I see the mocking of a woman.
Mm-hmm.
And, that's just my personal opinion. I see the mocking of a woman, because to me, a real woman, she will have real estrogenal experiences. her experiences will not be medically induced. And I don't, maybe there's something wrong with me, but it's hard for me to look at a transgender woman and see a real woman. I'm still going to see that man, because the whole time I'm looking at you, I'm going to be thinking in the back of my head, welcome back, Queen. I'm going to be thinking in the back of my head, what do you look like without the makeup and the wig?
Dez, you know the answer to that. You know the answer.
I mean,
I'm just saying. I'm just
it's
saying.
So I mean, anybody got anything else they want to throw in on that? What the young lady said on the video?
So I would like to say, gathering from what the video said, you're gay if you're with a man who looks like a man, but if you're a man who's attracted to a man who looks like a woman, that does not make you gay. And to me, my opinion, that does not make sense because that does not change that person's genital areas, parts, and it does not change who they are completely. Putting on a wig and makeup and liking certain colors and talking a certain way is not the totality of what a woman is. And I think it's
Mm-mm.
real superficial to bottle a womanhood into just glam and what you look like because there's way more to being an actual woman than just what you look like on the outside. Like it just from what she said from that video, it just bewilders me that thought process. Like you know how sometimes when you say something out loud and you be like, oh, I get it now. Like she said it and then she still didn't get it because the only difference that she made was one looks like a man and one looks like a woman, which I can't see any heterosexual man just because you look like a woman being intertwined with you if that's not what he likes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I agree with you 100% on that because to me, I'm sorry, whether it's a woman in the physical flesh, if you know that at one point in time that was a man, I'm sorry, homie, you're gay.
Mm-mm-mm.
I agree. I have to agree with that.
So I mean, excuse me, and it seems like that a lot of times a lot of these transgender women they're trying to make excuses or trying to justify things that will make them feel more like a woman
Mm-hmm.
Or
because
dance like you.
yeah, because they because it sounded like she was giving a pep talk like it's okay to date transgender women, that don't make you gay. No, brother, no. If you know that at one point in time this was a man and you still attracted to that,
That make you gay.
that
Well,
makes you.
you know
Go
what,
ahead,
Dez?
I'm sorry.
And that is okay.
But wait a minute. Not only that, some of them still got the man parts down there. Let's think about
Exactly. Some of them
face.
have not had the full surgery.
Exactly. Uh, so I'm not trying to play swords. You know what I'm saying? Chop, 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 back and forth like that. We ain't trying to do all that now.
I ain't trying to
As
pick.
Yeah, the only time I played sword fighting when I was on the fencing team.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, same. Hey, and same here with the Star Wars stuff. I ain't playing swords with another man. I'm just gonna keep it real, y'all. Just gonna keep it real. Yeah.
So, so I mean, if there is anybody out there listening, you can call in. I'm pretty sure Spicy will have the number rolling across the bottom of the screen here. But I'm sorry, excuse me, if you're out there and you're listening to this, we're not trying to. We're not coming for anyone. We're not attacking anyone.
Is that to the right?
Probably back. There you go.
Okay.
Everybody good? Testing, 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'm good on this end.
Check.
If everyone will mute their mic when somebody is speaking, please. And when you're ready to speak, unmute your mic. Okay, Des. There you go.
Oh, okay. No, I had to reset my board real quick. But so I mean, so does anybody else have any opinions about the video and the comments that the young lady made? Because Kay Marie made some very relevant points.
Well, I need somebody to like give me like a quick rundown because I was having technical difficulties. So it sounds like I might still be, but I missed the video. I need a quick run over real fast.
Hey, Queen, the microphone. While she gets that together, I had something to say with the young lady in the video while Queen's fixing her microphone. Lady, I mean, in all due respect and opinion, and don't get me wrong, you do have some men out there that like that. You do have some, but from me being a man and Des, we don't like that. I don't care how good it looks, how good it pretends to look. Just like Kay said, and everybody else, you still a man. And if you like that, that's fine. But yeah, that makes you gay. And the thing is, own up to it. If you're gay, you're gay. Be proud about that. You ain't, oh man, no, that's not me. And she is trying to be, well, you can call it she. He is trying to be a woman. But he's still a man trying to imitate and look like a woman. That's fine. And you like that illusion of that, and that's cool. Then you roll with that. But what gets me is, in my opinion, and in all due respect, don't force that on me. I know what I like. You can pretend to be what you want to be, but don't force that on me and try to press on me and say, "Well, no, I'm the one you should be with." And no, I don't think so. I know what I like, and like I said, I don't play sword fight. That's just me. So
That's I understand you 100%, Mr. D. Because personally, if that's what you choose to do, fine. Like you said, don't try to force that on me. And I think that's what's happening a lot in today's society. They're trying to force that particular lifestyle upon us, trying to get us to see that as normal behavior. And in my own eyes, in my personal opinion, that's not normal behavior. And I've actually ran into they're very good human beings, very good people, transgender women. I watched there's this one comedian, I can't remember what she goes by on stage, but she is she's very, very blunt about what she says when it comes to being a transgender woman. And she pretty much said the same thing that everybody else here is saying, because one of her jokes was, you got some of the guys just like, okay, cool, I'm down with that. That don't matter to me. Then you got the ones that's, no, I don't know. I ain't got nothing to do with that. No, get on from away from here. And then she said, you got them ones that's, all right, well, ain't nobody here right now. Come on, let's go. So to me, those are the ones who are trying to mask who they are, truthfully.
Dez, let me ask you a question. Only problem I have is it's hard for me when I know what you are. I can't call you no ma'am. I'm sorry. I can't call you a she or a ma'am or anything like that. I mean, now, if you want to be known as Shanika, I'll call you Shanika. But I'm not going to call you Mrs., ma'am. I'm not going to address you as that. Because I have seen a few of them get mad about that and want to take it outside. I was at HEB, and it was a man that was, checking out, and he told the guy that was, dressed as a woman, and he wasn't being this way. He said, "But thank you, sir." He said, "Excuse you." He said, "Thank you, sir. I'm not a sir. I'm a woman." He said, "But sir, with all due respect, that's your lifestyle, but I see you as a sir." And it almost went down in HEB just because he said what he said. And I'm like, well, I'm with him. I mean, you are, sir. I mean, even though you come here, you dress as a woman, you want this, but the man felt like calling you sir, and you getting mad about it, but he didn't do nothing wrong, in my opinion. So I'm just asking you, Dez, could you if you could you say ma'am to them or ma'am or missus, or would you or would you call them sir? I mean, I know what I would say, but I prefer to call them by their name because I mean just call you Shanika because I can't call you a sir. I mean, can't call you a madam or a miss. I have to call you by the name that you want me to call you by, but I could never call you that.
Well, me personally, I would prefer to call them by whatever they want to be called, their name, the name they would prefer to be called, because like you said, it would be hard for me personally, to sit up here and look at a man and call him ma'am. Now, would I be offending that individual if I would say, okay, well, you're a shim? Would that be offensive? Would I be offending that person? Because in my eyes, I see a man being a woman.
Right.
And I'm not being offensive. I'm just calling a spade a spade.
Nothing wrong.
And I think that's sometimes may be the problem as well. We get, so caught up on these titles, and, everybody wants to be set aside and set apart because of their preferences. But, and that kind of leads to this next question that I'd like to ask you also. A lot of times, like you said, there have been many situations where real straight men, like legitimate straight men, have found out that the woman that was approaching them somewhere down the line was actually a transgender female, and it has caused everything from arguments all the way up to death. So a lot of times, so my question to you all is, do you think that by, like we have all of us have the opinions here that we have, do you think that's why it's so hard, for some transgender women, or even some transgender women, to come out and it's so hard for them to come out and tell the person that they're interested in, hey, my real name is not Francis, I used to be Frank, for lack of better description? Do you think that has something to do with the uneasiness to reveal the fact that they are a transgender individual?
I will say yes. I think that has a whole lot to do with it. Because regardless, we're all having a conversation and leading with love, but just as well as there are people who absolutely hate black people or absolutely hate white people, there are people walking around who absolutely hate transgender homosexual people. They have a skeething hate for them. So a lot of times their livelihood is on the line by coming out the closet or by revealing who they are. However, as a black woman who now lives in the country that's doing what it's doing right now, I can't go in the closet and change my skin tone. So if you are choosing that lifestyle, I'm gonna need you to stand 10 toes down in it.
I agree with that 100%. If that's what you choose to do, I would really love for you to stand down, 10 toes down, all of them. Look, this is who I am. Accept me for who I am. And if you don't accept me for who I am, that's a you problem, not a me problem. Because obviously that person feels comfortable in their skin and decisions that they made. Queen D, do you have any insight on that question?
I don't. I actually have my own question. For people to become transgender and they are afraid to come out to people, I wonder why they do it. Like, if you have a fear of rejection, why do it? And then still, why pursue if you already have a fear of rejection? That just behooves me.
Okay, and we will give some thoughts on that question as well as the next video coming up right after this break. I hear music in the background. I don't know about anyone else, so that means it's time for us to pay some bills. Let's go to these commercials, y'all. See y'all in 2 and 2, or maybe 1 and 3.
this video pop up on my feed talking real slick, saying that if you a real man and you like women, then you should like trans women too. And instantly I knew what time it was, because that's not a statement, that's a setup. That's not logic, it's a trap wrapped in rainbow colored guilt. So let me break this down for the confused, the manipulated, and the folks too scared to say what they really think. Liking women means liking women. Not identifying as one, not feeling like one, not dressing like one. You see, a woman is not a label, it's a design from God. And no surgery, makeup, pronoun pack, or hormone kit from CVS can change the blueprint. If I say I like women, that don't mean I'm obligated to include people who got the idea of womanhood from TikTok and a therapist. That's called preference. That's clarity. That's discernment. Hell, that's biological reality, for crying out loud. You see, you can change the outside. Hell, you can even play the role. You can probably even convince a few confused dudes to play along with you. But deep down, you know what you are. You do. And deep down, you know real men ain't checking for it. So instead of just accepting that and moving on with your life, you try to shame straight men into dating you. Call us transphobic because we won't switch teams. Call us ignorant because we want women born as women. And then call us hateful because we won't fold to the fiction you're selling. But here's the truth. You're not offended by hate. You offended by rejection. You ain't mad, you're not mad at men's standards. You just mad that they don't include you. Real talk. So let's get this real clear. Real men don't move off pressure. We don't date hashtags, and we don't bend to confusion just because somebody's feelings might get hurt. This world out here rewriting gender like it's a group project, then throwing temper tantrums when you don't pretend with them. Not me. I'm not playing dress up with your delusions. Divine order ain't up for debate. You can identify as whatever. That's show business. But I'm not obligated to be attracted to it. Real men don't owe you access. We don't owe you desire. And we definitely don't owe you a lie. Attraction is not a diversity program. I don't care what the Democrats told you. This ain't about inclusion. This is an invasion. This ain't about tolerance, it's about control. And me, like most real men, we refuse to bow to that. We like women, not role play, not reconstructions, not rainbow demands backed by cancel culture. Real, raw, natural, divine women. And if that bothers you, go cry to somebody who cares. But as for me and the other real men, we're not confused. And we're not participating in your illusion. Keep it.
Okay, for the ones that have missed it, because I know I got the inboxes on who was our 2026 Powerful Poets. We do have Mr. K. Spaz. He was the Powerful Poet of 2026 with Southern Trees. And we had Junior Powerful Poet, Miss Talia Baker, The Things They Do. Those are the two Powerful Poets of 2026 for the Unspoken Heart Discussion Hour. Now back over to Des.
Yes, congratulations. Congratulations to the 2026 Powerful Poet and 2026 Junior Powerful Poet. I feel that the crown is still in good hands. The crown is still in good hands. Yes, it is. But before we get to this video, because he said what he said, and I understood what he said, and I'm with him, like he said, as for me and mine. But Queen, before we went to break, you had sent out a question, and could you please repeat that question for those of us who have short-term memory loss?
You're muted.
My bad. Can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I said I think I fit that category. I got like that. But I was saying if what makes them become transgender if they are afraid of rejection? That just behooves me. I don't understand. Like, if you know you're gonna get rejected, why do it and still have the audacity to approach a straight man? Like, I was watching YouTube and Magic Johnson's son said he don't go for his kind, he go for straight men. I'm stuck. Like, why? If you have a fear of being rejected, why still do it?
Well, with that being said, him going, I think he's trying to convert. But to me, I think he's just confused anyway. But that's just my personal opinion. So yeah, and that is a very good question, because if you're, like you said, if you're afraid of rejection, and if a rejection is one thing that that triggers something painful in you, why would you even put yourself in a position to be rejected? That just makes no sense to me. To me, that makes me believe that you're just a glutton for punishment, because there's, like the man, just to reiterate, what you said, like the man said in the video, there is no real man who is going to fall victim to your quote unquote trickery. I'll use trickery as a nice word. I want to use another one, but sponsorship. So, so and I understand, and I agree with him 100%, because of the simple fact, as a real man who knows what I know I like my woman to be born a woman. I like my woman to feel like a woman. And when I feel my woman, I want to know that she was never a man. I cannot personally see myself even, what is the word that they use, babysitting or entertaining the thought of trying to make myself believe, well, she looked like a woman, she feel like a woman, so she must be a woman. No, I can't do that. And I hate the fact that, like you said, that today's society is trying to, shame us men into liking something that we are not naturally attracted to. And I don't believe that that is fair for us, because what you're doing is it seems as though you're trying to make us feel bad because we're straight, because we do love the opposite sex. You're trying to make us feel bad about it. And when actuality, all that is doing is trying to help you comfort your discomfort. And I don't think that we should have to go through that. If we openly say to you, look, I am a heterosexual male, I do not play on that team. I don't straddle the fence. I don't play on that side of the fence. Don't sit there and try to convince me like this is a debate, that there's nothing wrong with it. Because to me personally, there is something wrong with it. Not to say that those men who decide to become women, the transgender women, are not good people, because some of them, I will say some of them, because I can't speak for, all of them, but I believe that some of them have very good, genuine, true hearts and are good people at heart and have good intention. But at the same time, don't try to use your good heartedness and your good intentions that you may have, when you're trying to, befriend me to get me to come over and play on your team, because that's not how it goes. And for the record, let me say, I have men in my family who have chosen to live that non-heterosexual lifestyle, and that doesn't make them any less of a man than me. But at the same time, they know, okay, cuz don't play like that. We can laugh and we joke, but when it comes down to it, cuz don't play like that. and they respect that. But it's the unruly ones, the ones that want to not respect the fact that you don't do that, that I have an issue with. The ones that, are openly trying to flirt with you and openly trying to be with you, knowing that's not what it is, with the idea that they can convert you, bring you over to their side. Those are the ones that I have an issue with. So does anybody else have any opinions on this? 'Cause I got one more question after this.
I have one. Oh, there are it's a little contradiction going on because there are, like you said, a lot of men that that do entertain that side. I mean, a man. If you ask me, some of these men look better than we do. They skin is perfect, no bumps, no hair. They look better than we do. But my thing is, at what point does a straight man realize that is a man that they are entangling with? Like, I'm really not understanding. So you go to a person, the person invites you to their house. Okay, y'all kicking it, ha ha, kicking, y'all get the feeling rubbing, you got the boobs and stuff, they getting aroused and stuff. But at what point do you feel like, okay, this is not a woman? I mean, I'm pretty sure men have tendencies of putting hands down, pants, all that. And transgenders don't got the sauce. So at what point do you realize, okay, this is a man, let me get out of here? I'm not understanding that part. And then you got people like Bobby V, they on video with these transgenders and they running. You got even though they might look like a man to you in your face, but say once you get them alone, you will think you will want to be like, okay, well, let me see, during the arousal process. And you're like, wait, there's no moisture here. I mean, like, what do they do? Hey, babe, I'll be back and go in the bathroom and, moisturize and come back. That's a red flag right there. I mean, this the transgender message really got me like in a whirlwind because there's a lot of information that I'm looking for. Like, how? I'm not understanding. Somebody help me with that, please.
Well, I would say this. I think that men who like actual women, they know the difference. And once, like you say, they get to the house and they get to playing around. I think once they get to the little saucy spot and they feel that it's not a peach, that it may be an eggplant. I think that's gonna send a real man running. Now, a man who stays is a man who already had that planning in his mind in the first place. He was already open to the experience. He just might not have crossed that person or came across that road or had the opportunity to indulge. Well, here it is. He has the opportunity to indulge. Now, again, I'm not a man. This is just my perception, my assumption of how they separate the two. But I just want to speak on something the white said and the guy said in the video. First of all, chef's kiss to the guy in the video. He was a whole mic drop. But I notice how we keep saying this is not to offend nobody. This is not like we have to keep giving this disclaimer when I feel like everybody who speaks on it and disagrees with it does not mean harm. That is just their stance. That is just how they feel about something. As long as nobody's being disrespectful, your livelihood is not being harmed. Nobody's making a mockery of you. Like I lead with love. Perfect example. It was a girl who was a stud, and she was talking to me one day, and she was like, "Yeah, I just came from my baby mama house." And I looked at her, I said, "You came from where?" And she was like, "My baby mama house." I said, "Girl, quit that. You ain't got nobody's baby mama. You ain't impregnated nobody." And she just laughed it off. She was like, sister, she didn't take it offensive because she knew where I stood. I respected where she stood because I didn't insult her in any kind of way. I just stated facts. And we can all just learn that everything is not hatred. Nobody's being homophobic. Nobody thinks that harm should come anyone's way, but facts are facts. Your eyes see what your eyes see, your ears hear what your ears hear. And to piggyback on that, I want to know when was this normalized? Because if you are skinny and see yourself as fat in the mirror, that is anorexia and labeled as a mental disability. If you are fat and you see yourself as skinny, That is also a mental disability. Like anytime someone has delusions in their mind, you got schizophrenic. All this is labeled as mental illness, but you could walk around and say, I feel and I look like a woman, and we supposed to be like, okay, that's what it is. If that's the case, I want to go paint myself orange, and I am now going to identify as a basketball or a pumpkin, whichever one.
Oh damn. Mm-mm. Well, I agree. Hey, you know, I just want to say this. What Queen said about, I remember, guys that do that though, they want the straight men. They see it as a challenge. That's what they see. They sees it as, I bet I can get a man that's straight. They ain't never been with someone like me to be with me. So it's a challenge. Well, I also want to go by what Kay said. Kay, I agree with you on that. Because at one time they tried to get David Chappelle canceled because they got mad at some things that he said. But you had no problem when he was saying the N-word. You know, I think laughing away when he was saying that N-word. You know, some black folks don't see it funny when people say the N-word. But hey, you know, you don't see us protesting about it or this and that. But when it comes to something towards saying something towards your lifestyle, there's a problem. And just like Kay said, we this is not a hate thing. This everybody's different. Everybody has an opinion, and you shouldn't look at it like that. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, to be real, you know, another thing she was saying, I think Queen was saying, some men do know. They do know. I know. I got a spider sense for that. Straight up spider sense. That's a man. I know it looks like a woman. Trust me, dude. That's a man. Some of us do. Some of us play blind. And like I said, some of those guys, they know what they are. They just want their experience. Or you know, as we said back in old school, they got a little sugar in their tank, so they gonna do it anyway. But the thing that gets me is, you know, why you have to, and this is my opinion. If you like men, even man, then why try to? And I don't get it for the guys that they love men, but they want a man that's dressing as a woman. I'm confused about that. If you like a man, then wouldn't you just want to get a man that look like a man? I don't get that part. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be with a woman, but you want to be with a woman that, or be with a man that pretend to be a woman. I'm confused about that. I'm like, well, damn. I mean, you like who you like, but why would you go with a man that's trying to look and dress like a woman? You know, I'm confused on that part. So I'll hit the music playing, and we'll be back in 2, maybe 1, and we'll be back with Dez and some more questions. Y'all want to call? We're really here for some of y'all. We'll be back. Don't go nowhere.
If they're attracted to us, if they like us, they're still straight. Get over it.
As beautiful as you are, ma'am, I'm gonna have to disagree. I think if a man is there with you, he's there for the extra surprise at the end of the rainbow. He's there for the gold. Society has such a strong hold on our minds, and I know it's hard for some men to accept in reality what they really love, but the reality is it's just a buffer to Gayville, to me. Now, they may strictly love the beautiful face of a woman, but at the end of the day, they want that sausage, and they want it with a cherry on top. That's all it is. It's basically a cherry on the top. And I feel bad because I feel like she is kind of propping herself up like she's so beautiful, which she is, and she has a right to feel that way. But the reality is men like you, or men who like you because they know the reality of what's going on. That there may be a sausage at the end of that rainbow. And then a personal story, if you go back into my stories, I just talk about this Jewish lawyer. And I just talk about, you know, the relationship and how awkward it was and how I had to play up being more masculine because I didn't know what they wanted from me exactly. I was in my people-pleasing era, which is a horrible era for me. And, you know, one day he invites me out and says, hey, I'm going out to dinner. I'm going to bring all my friends. You should come check it out. We're going to have a great time. We're going to go to the club afterwards. And because I was so nervous to meet the friends, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to have to play it up. All the friends going to be like, who are you? What are your connections to my friend? Because everyone's always fighting to be closer to the main person of the clique. And I felt like I was already there, but I felt people were going to be sizing me up. So I ended up showing up late. And then when I get there, he goes, why are you late? I got this table. I set up a tour with the host so we can meet the chef and we can see what the meals they were going to make, and you missed the whole thing. So at one point I was like, oh, that's so sweet. And on one point I was like, oh, damn, that's fucked up. And then out of the 8 guys, 3 of us had a private conversation. So it was me, him, and another person having a private conversation. I can't remember if the hostess was trans, but whatever the case was, a trans conversation comes up. And out of nowhere, he says, yeah, I met a trans girl in the club, and I took her home. We were in a hotel, and we woke up together, and excuse me? Instantly. One point I was like, well, at least he had probably no one to tell the story to, and he's telling me the story. But in one sense, I was just like shocked that this man who had so many obligations in his personal life had room for trans women. And he must have enjoyed it. Me personally, I'm not aligned with that frequency as much as I can appreciate the lifestyle and confidence of someone saying, this is my life and I'm gonna do it. It just wasn't my vibe. I instantly was turned off. But women, these guys like trans women.
Well, I guess we're back. There you go, Dez. Back to Dez.
All right. Well, that guy said a mouthful, no pun intended. I have no choice but to agree with him on that. You know, those men, like everybody's saying, as a man, there's this one, the ultimate thing. I mean, all you got to do, if they constantly covering up their throat, that could be a sign that, hey, she is really a he, and you're
even go by
willing,
that no more.
huh?
You can't even go by that no more, sir.
Well, yeah, I guess you do have a point, but I said as an example, like he was saying, as a man, as a real man, the signs, they are there. And if you choose to ignore them, like the man said, I think you're just low key wanting to have that experience. Like K. Marie said earlier, that's you really want to, let me see what this is about. What's this really about? It's, that curiosity in you that got you teeter-tottering, so that, that was just my opinion on the video. And then one big question, because this happens to come up all the time, especially when it comes to the restroom. Would you all feel comfortable with a transgender woman going to use the bathroom with your daughter? Or would you feel comfortable?
No.
And why is that?
Because it's not a woman.
Okay, well that's real simple, to the point.
No, I've actually watched a TikTok where this lady at this park, and this little girl said she had to go to the bathroom, and she went to the bathroom, and there was a guy supposedly transgender trying to get into the bathroom. Nobody was like, she blocked the door and everything, was like, you are a man. Go to the men's restroom. You are a man. They argued for about a good 30 minutes, but at some point he left. But she's like, no, you're not going here to use the bathroom with my daughter. You're not. You are not a woman. You are a man. And you ain't here with the little girl. You are not a woman. So I have asked, that's why I say no. Whatever you was born to be, that's the bathroom you need to be. Or nowadays they make bathrooms for transgenders. That's what you need to be at, but not in the women's restroom.
I
Okay,
think that's
and
another part of the invasion part, invading on and trying to make other people accept your choice in life. Because I think a women's restroom should be for women, a men's restroom should be for men. If they want inclusion, I think they should be protesting for a unisex bathroom. There's room out there where you can make a bill to where a bathroom is required where both parties can enter if need be. I think that will be the compromise so that the women will feel comfortable, the men will feel comfortable, and they will feel comfortable. But instead of doing that, they want to be included and take over the women's aspect so they can feel more like a woman, just in my opinion. Because I mean, it's an easy fix to that.
They actually have that. I see it at Walmart. It's called the family bathroom. Go in
and
there.
then and some businesses do have unisex bathrooms as well. And I would feel uncomfortable with that because sometimes you have some men who have such a predatory mind state that they will literally pretend and cross dress, pretend to be that transgender woman to gain access to the women's room just to prey on the young ladies or even grown women at times. So I me personally, I would object to that. I'm sorry, sorry, bro, you got to go to another bathroom. Or you gonna wait until after my daughter come out of here. It's that simple because I've heard too many stories of how that matter. Just to use one as an example. There was a lady in the park, in the park restroom area, and there was a transgender woman, supposedly transgender woman, going to use no trans. How do you when they go from man to woman? Yeah, transgender. Well, he was a man at one originally, but then became a woman and was just hanging out in the bathroom, waiting for little girls to come into the restroom. So and I think that should not be done just because of what y'all were saying. That just opens up the door to too many possibilities of bad situations, because you have to think that if you allow these things to happen, you're actually setting those people up to be harmed because of the simple fact it could be if you got a heterosexual dad who feels that somebody like that took advantage of his child. Who knows what that father is going to do if they feel that their child has been harmed, especially if they find out, well, that was actually a man. Oh, they may end up in prison or dead trying to do something harm to that person. And I don't think that a lot of times people they like K Marie said, the inclusion idea, they don't realize that they're actually opening up themselves to potential physical harm and even more rejection because of the simple fact that those of us who don't play for that team or ain't on that side, we're not just going to sit up here and allow some law to say, oh, well, I guess I got to deal with it. No, like the man said in the video, there's the laws of nature. So,
Right.
and there's nothing, like I said, there's nothing wrong with those who want to be included because they may have a different belief or a different lifestyle. I have no issue with that. But when you begin to try to infringe upon the rights of me as someone who does not believe in that, that's also when it becomes an issue, because now you're trying to make me believe in what you believe. And just because I don't, you want to hold that against me when I'm not holding it against you, that you're contradicting everything that I believe in. So it's almost like they want a double standard.
Yep.
So go ahead,
So
Doc.
I got a question for you. If a man cheats on his woman with a transgender, does that make him gay?
Oh,
That makes
repeat
them
that question
bisexual.
again.
I said, if a straight man cheats on his woman with a transgender, does that make him gay?
Yep.
Yeah, they call them down low. But like Kay said, that's the bisexual right there.
That's a bisexual.
I call it straight up gay. I ain't gonna even call it that. I call it gay. Straight up.
Because I mean, technically, in my eyes, anytime you sleep with something, regardless of what it looked like, and it's still the same sex as you, sorry, you're gay.
Gay. Straight. That's why I be. If you gay, be proud of it. I don't try to sugarcoat it. You can put sugar on a powder of honey and it's gonna still be So if you like playing sword fights, then admit it. Just say, yeah, I like playing sword fights. Be proud of that. And it's called being gay. I mean, damn. I mean, just keep it real. Keep it real.
If there's anyone out there within that community that has an opinion on this, I would love for y'all to call in because we are very unbiased. We would love to hear. We would love to hear your side of the story because none of us can give a clear description of what it's like to live that lifestyle because nobody on this panel has ever lived that lifestyle. I know I haven't. Can't speak for nobody else. I'm just playing.
I have not.
Gotta lighten the mood. But
but we all have friends, maybe some family members, and like I said, I talked to many of them, and they had given me their answer or some things of why they do what they do, and they do things different. Like I was saying about Queen, most of those guys sees it as a challenge to go after straight men. I'm like, but why? Why would you go after a man that's straight because you feel that you can change him? That's gonna get you hurt, or they're gonna put you on the ground. Real men's not gonna play that with you. They're not gonna play those games. I know I'm not gonna play those games with you. I mean, you like what you like, and I have nothing but the respect for them. But don't be pushing yourself what you believe on me. Okay, what you do is what you do. I mean, knock yourself out, have a good time, whatever. But just don't try to push yourself on me because somebody's gonna get hurt. I just don't play that. I'm from the old school. I don't play, but like I said, I think it was Kay or Queen. They all have things. Like in jail, they don't pit those type of guys in the cell with the regular dudes. They have a special place for those guys. So with their bathroom issue, yeah, they can come up with bathrooms like that for them. They should. That way, you don't have to go in the bathroom or in a woman's bathroom, especially if you ain't had that part removed yet and everything. You go in the bathroom. I think it was they had an incident like that as well at the gym where this woman was working out and this guy, dressed, as a woman, was acting like a woman, went in there and she was mad. She had a right to be mad. She said, I have a right to be mad. You come in here and you got that hanging out because like Des, just like you said, sometimes these guys pretend to be like that just to get a look or even do more. So yeah, that's a very dangerous game because a lot of dudes out there are pretending. They're not even that way, but they pretend to be that way to get access to the bathroom and looking at women. So you got to think about that too. Very dangerous game.
I agree with you on that. I had a whole question statement, but and then that's another thing. This is just running through my mind, and like a lot of times, some people say, I didn't choose this. This is how God made me. Mm-hmm. Let me explain something to you. My personal opinion on that. Once again, my personal opinion. That is a choice of a lifestyle that you're choosing to live, and I'll say this because I know there are a lot of women out here who have 5 and 6 and maybe even just 1 or 2 children. And then all of a sudden now you decide that you no longer, you're gay, you're a lesbian. How did that happen? Did you just get tired of men and even it flipped the coin on the other side? You got men out here who've been dating women their whole life and then all of a sudden they coming out the closet because they've been living this down low lifestyle. when in actuality they're just making these choices, you know. So, and everybody's entitled to choices. Everybody's entitled to choices. They're yours. Then, and the decisions that you make, hey, that's on you. May God be with you. Hey, love your life, love yourself. And like Mr. Dwight's been stressing this whole time, just don't try to force your ideas and what you want onto somebody who has openly told you no. Just like they tell us as straight men, when a woman says no, no means no. No means fellas no. Who are now women, when a man tells you no, no means no.
I said no.
So
that's crazy. You had to say that, but you told the truth. I agree. No means no.
Yeah, straight up. No.
I mean, if you want to, you want to be treated like a woman, understand no means no.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much more time we got, because this topic, we can go on talking about this for hours and hours and hours.
We good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we can't.
But we do want to say, because we know what Sunday is. It is Mother's Day, and from the Unspoken Heart Discussion Hour and also Grown Men Talking, we want to wish all the mothers out there a very blessed Mother's Day.
I'm talking about all the real mothers now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and like Kay said, none of you. Well, I don't know. Even though they, and this is literally a serious question, because I mean, it that Kay brought up. You have a lot of women out here who are claiming they got baby mamas.
Say what?
do they get to celebrate Mother's Day as well?
Run that by me again.
Look,
you got a lot of.
God did not construct me to be a man. He constructed me to be a woman.
Yeah.
And so I cannot stand or even give the structure to a son or daughter from a man. All I can do is be mom. So I really don't like people saying Happy Father's Day. Yes, I did my part. I did what God expected me to do, but I'm still a woman. It's still Mother's Day. But when those Father's Day come, women stop taking their trophies from them. Stop it. Let these men have their day. Let them be able to celebrate their day. You're not a father. You stepped in a place to do what God expects you to do for the children that you brought in this world, and that's it.
That's it. That's right.
I think there may be baby mamas, but it's not baby mama's day. It's Mother's Day. So being a baby mama and being a mother to me are two different things.
Okay.
So yeah, it could be some baby mamas out there.
That is, man. I guess so. Woo.
Well, all right. So that means all of you studs don't be trying to celebrate Father's Day with us. All right.
Twilight Zone.
So before we get out of here,
woo, man.
So before we get out of here, Queen D, do you have any words of nutrition for someone who may be dealing with or having to experience dealing with someone who believes about who has messed up feelings about, or just anyone in general dealing with transgenderism and the problems that come along with it?
No means no.
Okay, for one, yes, no means no. No means no. But two, regardless of who or what you are, stand proud in it. Be you. Don't hide it. And just love yourself and others.
Yes.
All right, brother Dwight. Any words of encouragement and nutrition?
Yeah, I'm just gonna say this. One thing, God do love everybody, and just like Dad said, God don't make no mistakes. I don't agree with certain people's lifestyles, but I respect it. Just know they respect me, and just live your life who you are. Respect others. We can't judge. God can judge, but God doesn't make a mistake. And like I tell people, I don't see nothing that God said about that in the Bible. So if it's not in the Bible, you might want to think about how you acting. Because like I said, God is the only one, and He does not make mistakes. If He made you a man, then you're a man. If He made you a woman, then you're a woman. I mean, as y'all say, God is the judge, and He will tell you that on Judgment Day. But live in peace, like the men said today when we said no, and everything be cool. Just keep it real. That's what I got to say.
K Marie, you got anything you like to leave the people with?
Just to the whole community, there's all love. We respect and love. There's no hate. Um, but in the same instance, please learn that boundaries are set by individuals, not just whether you're transgender, heterosexual, homosexual. Everyone has boundaries and has preferences, and they should be respected just as you want yours to be respected. So, with all the love in the world, just respect boundaries, and we respect yours, and we can live in harmony.
All right, and I'll go ahead and close it out with this. I'll just say this, just to reiterate everything everyone said. If that's the lifestyle that you choose to live, be open about it, and understand that it may be hard for some people to accept the choices or the choice that you have chose to make, and that's understandable because everyone is entitled to their opinion. But at the same time, please just be honest with a person. All you can do is be honest with a person. And if they can't accept your honesty, that's an issue that they have to deal with. Because at the end of the day, you still have to live with the choices that you make and the decisions that you have made. So therefore, be honest with yourself and be honest with others about who you are and what it is and how you choose to live. Because the moment that you try to pull the wool over somebody's eyes, as soon as that wool is removed, that person just become infuriated. And we've all heard stories of how these tales have ended in tragedy for a human being. I'm not even going to say transgender. I'm just going to say a human being because of the simple fact that they were not truthful about who they were or who they once were. So I will say, please be honest with yourself and be honest with others. Those are my words for the day. And Spicy had me cue this song up. I've been waiting to play it so long. Can I play that song?
We can play the song, but please, everyone, to stay in to give the last tribute
Let's
to
go.
Miss Shauna Nias, as we're going to end the show out after he plays the song with the memory of her that we played at the beginning. Go ahead and hit it. And everyone, put those blue hearts up in that comment for love and support and prayers for the Nias family. Come on, owner, get it.
Yeah, this is a story of a dog that took the tail We'll be busy. You're the clapping dog. Rhythmic dog. Harmonic dog. Stop. Dog. World unite. Dancing dogs.
All right, y'all.
We're gonna hand it on out. We're gonna have a very blessed Mother's Day. Love you all. See you next Friday.
When you would smile, the world felt light. Even cloudy days turned bright. Busy moments passed us by, but they were treasures in disguise. I still set out 2 cups of tea, though it's only me. It's what used to be. Soft and true, still wrap my heart in thoughts of you. You waved and said, see you soon. That goodbye still echoes in every room until I see you again. I'll carry you deep within, wishing on clouds that float above, hoping you hear my silent love. I won't let the tears be all that's left. Your smile is something I won't forget. With the warmth you left behind, I'll keep on walking, one step at a time. No letters left, no photographs, but my heart recalls our past. Every moment soft and kind still burns like starlight in my mind. Though the seasons come and go, my love remains. It only grows in the quiet night. I speak your name and feel your presence just the same.